Thanks for tuning in once again. I'm GTF, and this is Let's Play Touhou. Specifically, Lotus Land Story, the fourth game of the series, on the PC-98. This is well before the Windows games most of you should be familiar with. I'm sure many of you Touhou players out there started on Perfect Cherry Blossom, which was the seventh game of the series. The general premise of Lotus Land Story here is that demons have suddenly started running amok more than they usually do in this fictional world that the Touhou world takes place in. And of course it's up to the only shrine maiden in its world to solve the problem. Reimu is going to be tracking down the source of a large demonic power that she apparently believes is causing all these demons to run amok. Simple as that. Very cookie-cutter storyline. This is probably one of my favorite games of the entire series, and in my opinion, easily one of the best soundtracks up there with Embodiment of Scarlet Devil. This game also happened to start most of the conventions that the newer Touhou games rely on that most players will be familiar with, namely extra points given to you for doing suicidal things like letting bullets touch your sprites but not your hitbox, i.e. grazing, as well as bombs automatically collecting all points on the screen, and extra point gauges that will add extra modifiers to your score at the end of each level. In this case you have the dream points, I believe they were called. Those are the blue icons enemies are dropping now and then. It's a rather large point modifier if you can get enough of them. Where it says on my score right now 1,000, that's how many dream points I've collected. It caps out at 12,800, and that will basically multiply all of the purple point icons you've collected by that amount, and add that to your score. Very large bonus, which can be important because that's how this game gives out extra lives at regular scoring intervals. This boss is Orange. That's her name. Simply that. No last name. Just a literally no importance to the story at all. She is just a random demon who gets into a fight with Reimu simply because they cross paths. That was what the dialogue was saying. Very easy first boss, even on hard mode. As you can see, most of her shots are not actually aimed at you. If you haven't figured out right now, yes, I am post-narrating this recording. There's no way I'd be able to gab and concentrate on this kind of game at the same time. Nowhere will I ever claim that I am a good Touhou player. On to stage 2, Lake of Blood. Very similar location concept was used in Embodiment of Scarlet Devil, the Scarlet Devil Lake. However, these are not the same locations. You have to be careful right here in the beginning, simply because enemies right here can spawn right on top of you if you're even a little bit high up. Otherwise, nothing really too surprising. It's not going to be until the next stage where enemies actually start shooting at you in mass. For the most part. Most of the enemies we're going to be encountering early on are just little ghosts that don't shoot at you. This is the mid-boss, who will also act as the boss of the stage. Very common Touhou convention. You'll face the boss of the stage as a mini-boss early on. That was Kurumi. She's a lesser vampire out there. She acts as the guardian of the Lake of Blood. Who she's guarding it for is nobody in particular, though. Again, really just a random enemy there, just for the sake of having an enemy. Here's where enemies are going to start the more classic bullet hell fire patterns. Right after this. There we go. Even this is actually pretty simple to get through if you just watch. But I'm going to admit I have a careless death here, and it really aggravates me that it occurred. But after having to re-record these so many times, I've decided just to roll with it this time. Right there. I honestly did not think that was going to touch my hitbox. I was almost positive I grazed that properly, but clearly I didn't. Kurumi is a Stage 2 boss, of course, therefore she is not particularly difficult. A little trickier than Orange was, but nothing really too hard. Most of her attacks are going to be like that with the laser. The key to dodging them is mainly through horizontal movement than vertical. You need to use just a little notch of vertical, and then just rely horizontally. This part of her patterns can actually be a little disorienting because of the swirling motion of the bullets. Tends to get me. Now she starts doing it in threes. I'm currently playing in slow mode, because just in the normal mode I just could not, for some reason, survive, mainly because I'm so rusty with the game. It basically means the game will slow down a little bit when bullets are completely covering the screen. But this is running long. I'm going to have to split this video here. I'll see you all next time.